another episode of Making Stories Knits With. I'm Annalisa, your host for today and always, and I'm joined today by the wonderful Lena, who's actually not that far away from here. Meaning she's also in Berlin, and I'm super excited that Lena is joining us for the October interview of Making Stories Knits With. And you might know her face already from this wonderful publication, because Lena was our model for issue 4. And she's also done a lot of test knitting for us. So we're going to dive into all of the Making Stories projects and also going to talk about the modeling experience. But before we do that, Lena, would you like to share who you are and introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers?
Sure, happily. Yeah, I'm Lena. I am from Berlin. I was born and raised here. And I think I've met Annalisa through Instagram somehow.
Probably, yeah.
And then everything started, even I think with the crowdfunding. We can get back to that later. And yeah, and I live here. And I'm happy to chat with you.
Yay! Thank you so much. I was actually, when I prepared for the interview, wondering if I remember correctly that we did indeed meet way back when we did the crowdfunding for Woods. And so it seems that my recollection is actually correct, if you remember that as well. Because I wasn't sure anymore. I know that you've been a super supporter from very early on, meaning from the first days even. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, I think I was backing the crowdfunding campaign. And then was there a trunk show at Vollen?
I think there was there was a trunk show there was a trunk show at Vollen, a party. I think we might have met before at Vollen, maybe at their knit night.
Yeah, maybe also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. Yeah.
How time flies.
Yeah,
it's like
really.
4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Crazy times. Good times. Sometimes bad times, mostly good times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As life is.
Yeah, that is very true. When you messaged me earlier today, I got so excited because Lena WhatsApped me a picture of a bunch of knitwear, a whole stack, all Making Stories projects.
All Making Stories.
And I don't think I've ever seen a stack of Making Stories projects that big in like one knitter's hands. And I'm really excited because we get to talk about all of them. I think how many of those are test knitting projects? Most of them?
Yeah, I think most of them.
I think most of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah. So
maybe 2 or not. Yeah.
I always got so excited when I got your test knitting applications. Like, yeah, Lena is test knitting again. Well, it's wonderful. Shall we dive into the projects? So which projects have you knit? Would you like to just go through them one by one? And I have a couple of our publications here, so we can also take a look at the photos there, which I think is always fun.
Yeah. So I'm thinking what the first test knit was, and I'm not sure, but it might have been that one. Is that the Coral Mule?
That is the Coral Mule, yeah.
Coral Mule, because that's from Breeze.
That's from Breeze. That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, that is gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen that version. Because that is like, I love the color.
Yeah, I love the color too. I think I gave it to my mom, and then I never took pictures, so I never uploaded the finished garment on Ravelry. Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It looks so good. Yeah, so this is from the second book. Wait, let me see. So this is the design by Joan Forgiona, who coincidentally, this is really fun that this is the first one that we start with, because she has a pattern with us in issue 5 as well. That's gorgeous. Nice. And Cormule is a 3/4 length sleeve pullover, quite fitted. Well, depending on the ease that you knit it with, and it has these gorgeous raglan details. I'm not entirely sure how you can, whether you
can see them here. It goes down.
Ooh, yeah,
on the whole side, on the whole body, and it's just so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. You're lucky, Mom.
Yeah, and she's very careful about it. She hasn't worn it a lot, but she likes it. Yeah,
that's the delicate balance. You know, if you have knitwear that you really love and you want to wear, but you also know that with every wear, you know, it's going to wear out. I have the same thing with this sweater. This is I knit this in a single ply, and single ply is not the greatest thing for sweaters, right? And every time I put it on, I'm like, oh, but I just love it so much. So I can relate to your mom.
Yeah, and it's really this gorgeous yarn from I think Ginger and Twist is her name. And it's just so soft and beautiful, and it was easy to knit up the whole sweater basically, because this is also my first sweater.
Really?
I think I made baby sweaters before, but I never
baby
made
sweaters are like not that
tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny. Yeah. They're fast.
Yeah.
Beautiful job though, like especially with the stockinette, like you see how even the stitches are.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So if your mom doesn't want it anymore, I'm throwing my hat into the ring, right?
Okay. I'll ask her. Yeah, but when I asked her if she could bring it to me, she was like, yeah, but then now I can wear it again because it's getting colder. Okay, we get it back.
You'll get it. She's like,
maybe I have it a couple of times before.
Yeah.
You can have it back. Yeah.
Do you remember which one the next was? The next test knit?
I'm not sure. Could it be this beauty?
Yes, you did 2 test knits for Breeze.
Or maybe
because that is also from Breeze.
It is.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
Yes. In a good way. That is, now I'm trying to find
it's the Alice that maybe you changed the name? No. Yeah.
No, we didn't. This is designed by Morgan Capestrain. And this is going to be fun because we get to talk about the yarn as well, which I know you have a special connection to. So it's a rectangular, you can kind of see it here, right? It's a rectangular wrap, and it has these diagonal lines that Lena is showing that should make sort of like an arrow shape. I'm not entirely sure if that is. Yeah. I love this so much because it's one of those designs that's simple but very well done, I think. Would you agree, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember knitting it. I think there were a couple of problems with it when test knitting, but
probably
we solved it, and it's just such an enjoyable knit, and just the fabric is also so beautiful, and it's just the simple lines. It's just sometimes it's all what you need, right?
Yeah.
And it's still very, very delicate details. So with the I remember that there was a special way how to do those.
The eyelet yarn overs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Which color did you? Oh, we didn't talk about the yarn just yet. So this is knit in and designed for Tulliver yarn, their BFL Mesham DK. And Elke, the woman behind Tulliver yarn, she's also based in Berlin. And you did a workshop with Elke, didn't you? You dyed your own yarn. Well, not
I
for that
did.
project, but like
Yeah.
a while ago.
I did, and it was the hottest summer day. It was like, I don't know, almost 40 degrees, and we were cooking with those big pots outside, and it was a 2-day workshop, and so there were all different colors, and they gave really good input on how to dye with natural substance or colors. And yeah, it was amazing. And then I'm a huge fan of her yarn, so I think everything she makes is just fantastic and beautiful.
Yeah, she has such a great eye for color as well. I really, really like how the colors work together. I remember I designed a color work sweater for a collection, I think that we published last year. And I had a really hard time picking colors because they're so beautiful, and they just really work well together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they absolutely do. Yeah. But this is actually, I think, the natural colorway. I think it's not dyed. I think it's the natural one.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. Like a warm gray. Have you worn this a lot? It looks like something that's
I think
super wearable. Like,
yeah, I actually have. And it's still, I mean, I did wear it a lot, and it still looks beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see any signs of wear.
No.
Good.
And it's, yeah, I mostly wear it like that.
I love
and then
it.
it's just really warm and nice. Yeah. Yeah.
This is so fun. I get to, revisit all of the beautiful patterns, and I'm like, ooh, this needs to go in my queue. This needs to go in my queue. I need more time in the day for knitting.
That's always what I think when I get your magazines. I'm like, I need to take like a year holiday to knit it all.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
That's one of the reasons, though, by the way, when we started thinking about the magazine and started thinking about publication schedule, why we intentionally went for 2 issues per year. I mean, there are publications that publish 3 times, some even 4 times a year. And I'm always very mindful, I want people to knit from the publication. And even if you maybe only knit a sweater or maybe a pair of socks and a shawl or something, you need time. Like, knitting takes time, right? Yeah. And there was a point a few years ago or a couple of years ago where I just felt completely overwhelmed by the amount of new patterns coming out. I think that's it's sometimes really sad. There are so many beautiful patterns out there, and they get lost so easily in the like hype for new patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I often I see so many things that I love, and then there's just not enough time.
Yeah.
But I think it's also nice to think it in like that, in a way too. It is something that you make. It is material that you buy, and it takes time, and it's, I guess it's like wise to choose what you really want also.
Yeah.
And what you need.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. What will be the next one?
So the next one is not a test knit, I think, but I think I did that in.
I love that so much. No, that can't have been a test knit. I think you knit that.
No.
You knit that later.
Yeah, I did, because it's from Breeze. No, it's not
no,
Breeze.
it's from Woods. It's from Woods, I think. Yeah, it's from Woods. Yeah. This is Meerdal. It's a scarf designed by Nele Droots and originally in Mole View yarn. Did you use Moleview yarn as well for this, or a different one?
No, no, I had to stick to Elke, and
Can't blame you.
and use more of her wonderful
Mm.
yarn. I actually don't know which one it is. It must be the Decay. I think it's the one that she took out now.
I think the BFL Mesh in Decay.
Mm.
Yeah, it looks like it. Like from the
Yeah.
drape and the shine, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good in that yarn.
It is. It's yeah. And it's just like the lace is amazing. And I really like to knit lace with like the thicker yarns.
Yeah.
I think it just turns out so pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And what I really like about that design as well is you have the lace portion at you know, both ends of the scarf. Basically you knit the entire thing twice and then graft it together in the middle. You can also, I think, modify it so that you know, start from one side and then knit the other, like knit the entire way and then sort of knit your way down through the lace. Yeah. I can never wrap my head around how to modify things like that. I knit this as well, and I knit it in 2 pieces, and I actually didn't mind because the lace makes it super fun, and it's you know, then it's just mindless stockinette with a bit of a border. It has this, which I thought is really nice. One of my pet peeves about about scarves is that they often roll at the edges. And Nele did something here with the edges where she did like a little bit of twisted rib, I think. Yeah. And that kind of keeps it nice and flat.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is. Yeah.
This is very bad for me. I'm like, I want this. I would wear that one to death. I think I might need to knit myself one of those.
It is just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the next one.
Yeah.
And then I think this is another test knit.
Yes. From Stripes. I don't have the publication. I haven't printed it out.
Yeah. And it's the Zuora top.
Yeah. By Carrie Bullock Oskan.
Yeah. And it's in linen, lino muka, from woolen. And I know that this is, I had such a hard time knitting it.
Oh no!
Because it was just on those tiny needles, and it was so much work and so much stockinette.
Yeah. You hold the yarn double, right? I mean, it doesn't really help much because it's still only fingering weight then, but yeah.
Exactly. But the fabric is just, I mean, you see how, and it's getting better and better. Like, I think really with linen, it's not something that you put on and you think, oh, this will like take away from the time. It's just like it's so soft. It's so soft. And it's like every time I wear it more, it just gets softer and softer. Yeah. And I love it. Yeah.
Oh.
I made an ink stain like right here on the top somewhere, so that's a little bit bad, but I still wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe, can you take the microphone out of the wrap, or the wrap off? I think it's kind of like rubbing against it sometimes. Yeah. What I love about the Zuora version that you knit is that you you inversed the color scheme. I think the original sample, maybe I'm gonna put up a photo somewhere here, is a cream color, so a light background, and then peach stripes, so light background, darker stripes, and you reversed it, which is one of the things that I really, really like, because I think it gives a project a very different feel. Like, this looks like a super modern top, whereas the version that we had in the original photos, like the samples, I think was more So maybe whimsical, a little bit 50s feeling in the color combination.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, with linen, I couldn't agree more. What I love about linen, I mean, the knitting is a little bit tedious, but
It's
you
a
can
lot of
throw it.
love.
It's a lot of love, and you
Yeah.
can throw it into the washing machine, and it just doesn't get bad. Like it's like I have a couple of linen tops that are my favorite summer tops to wear. All of them are in lino muka because it's just the best. It's the best linen and the best colors.
And they have the best colors too. It's just amazing, the color range.
About like 50 colors at this point or something.
Yeah.
I think like every summer Ruta just adds new colors to the lineup. And it's funny, this summer I started wearing a top that I knit maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and that I didn't really like at the time, and now I absolutely love it. But it was quite stiff and quite scratchy. And then I just wore it a ton, and every time I threw it into the wash, it kept getting softer and softer and softer. And it's like, it's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it almost feels like silk now.
Yeah.
Like it's just great.
People start knitting with linen. If you're in the I don't want to knit with linen camp, try it at least once. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Wonderful. What would be the next one? How many do we have left?
We have 2 left. So we have another test knit, and those are quite worn.
Oh, those are from issue 1, aren't they?
Yes, I think it's the Tidal Socks. Yeah.
Oh, they are gorgeous, and I love the red. I remember seeing that pop up in the test knit, and I was like, ooh, that color.
Yeah, I saw that color and I was like, I have to have that color, because that's just amazing, because it's so glowing and it's just wow.
This is so the design is by Cheryl Eaton, who's absolutely lovely, who I had the pleasure of meeting at Edinburgh Yarn Festival when this was released. And the yarn, you probably also use this for the test knit, right? Triskelion yarn, Carthen's yarn. He I don't know how he does it, but his colors, they're so good.
They are.
So if you've worn them a lot, because I have a pair of socks in the same yarn, in the Skilfing 4-ply, but I haven't really worn them because I'm looking over there because there's my sample box, so they were a sample pair. So has the yarn held up well?
I think they did. I think it did. But I do have a hole here. But I'm not sure. It looks more like as if I stepped on a nail or something on like my wooden floor. But I mean, if you check here,
it looks really good. Like a little bit felted, but that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I remember, and the heel is also, they're also a little bit dirty, but the heel is okay. So, and then I stopped wearing them because I haven't mended it, but I will. So I think they hold up good.
So what's the last one?
So that's the last one.
Rubelite. Ooh, that is gorgeous. So that's from Jewels. It's a beautiful colorwork hat pattern by Simone Bechtold, originally designed for De Rerum Natura. Did you use that same yarn?
I'm not sure. I think I did partly. I think the blue one is De Rerum Natura.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the pink one, but I have it on my Ravelry page.
Yeah.
It should be there. Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Did you like knitting it?
I loved it. I really liked I can't remember really how, but I really liked the brim somehow, that it's and just because the pattern is so nice, the color work, and
Yeah.
it is really like, I can't even say what it is really jewels. It feels very much like as if it's like stones falling
Yeah.
down your head, sort of,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
I love it. I love the color combination too. And I love the little details that you have the pink on the brim as well. And then the pink
Yeah.
pom-pom. I think it just pulls it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. So, and actually I've worn it a lot too during winter. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite project, a favorite Making Stories FO?
I think it's this one. Yeah, it's just so, that's a favorite. Yeah, it is.
I can't blame you. It's gorgeous.
It is.
And is there one that is your least favorite one? Either, I don't know, because of the knitting experience or because how it turned out or something?
Well, I mean, we touched upon it a little bit. I think it must be that one. But I really love wearing it. So it's more about that it's a lot of stockinette. And then, of course, I do wear a bigger size, so I have to knit a lot.
Yeah.
So it's more the knitting experience that was there was a lot of, a work of love.
Yeah.
Labor of love.
Labor of love.
But I do like wearing it, so I can't say that it's my least favorite project, because I do like wearing it a lot.
Imagine going through all of that trouble and then not liking it. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, it happens. Like, I think it has probably happened to every knitter out there. You know, you spend countless hours. Mostly, I've had this with a couple of sweaters that I knit, and then they just don't fit. Or I remember I did one project where it was a beautiful, beautiful cable sweater, and I loved knitting it. It was really nice. And I just didn't like the way that it looked on me, like not at all, like really not at all. I haven't worn it once. And I was so happy because a few weekends ago, my sister was visiting and I had gone because we kind of switched around rooms, and I took that opportunity to clean up my wardrobe. And I put together a few knitted things for her to try on. And she tried it on and she loved it. And I'm always so happy when something like that happens, you know, like at least if you don't love something, you know, you find someone else who maybe does.
Yeah, and then you can pass it on, and it feels good. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Let's talk about issue 4. And I have like my gigantic pile of publications here. There you are.
Yeah,
so,
that's still crazy.
I love it so much. I mean, you're stunning. You're stunning in real life. And the pictures are among the most beautiful ones that I think we've ever taken. And it's just like, I remember when I flipped through the pictures that Melinda sent me, you know, after, she always sends me like a few first photos a couple of days after the photo shoot, just as a little sneak peek. And I was so happy. And I think she sent me this one. I was like, this is the cover, full stop. And I like to double check, especially decisions that I make myself. So I went through every single photo, trying to find one that I would love more for the cover. This was it. Oh, it was so great. And I really, really loved the photo shoot. I mean, I don't know if we've ever talked about the photo shoot on YouTube before. So when we do a photo shoot, it's usually a really small crew. It's Melinda, our photographer. It's me with the samples and doing it tiny bit of art direction, but for yours, not really, because I had to stay with the samples so that no one would steal the samples. And then we have our model, in that case you, and that's it. Like that's really it. And what I love about the photo shoots is I think Melinda is very good at taking photos, and she also does a really good job at trying to make the model feel comfortable. Like I don't want like high fashion photos. I want someone who is comfortable in their own skin, you know, likes wearing what we put on their bodies. Because I think that translates in the photos. And I know Melinda went crazy over you. Like Melinda was like, oh my, yeah, she did. She's like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. She has the most beautiful smile, and you have. So, it was such a, well, for us, it was a great experience. How was it like for you? How was the photo shoot for you?
I mean, first of all, I'm not a professional model or anything. So I've done one model job before, and that's also how we got in touch about that issue. But the photo shoot was just, I felt very comfortable and I felt very safe. And I also felt that Melinda really she knew what she wanted, and she directed me in the ways she wanted, and then there were still things that I could suggest or that I could just offer. And it just felt very easy. It was just like, okay, I stand here and I do this, and I and so it was really a great experience.
That makes me very happy. That's really important to me, that it's not, you know, like, yes, it's great if the photos turn out beautifully, but you know, I want everyone involved in the photo shoot to feel good about it. And especially you, because I mean, you're the face of issue 4, and sometimes things happen. Am I allowed to share the story about Elk Market Yarn?
Yes, you are.
So you texted me a little while ago, and when you were in Sweden on vacation, and you visited one of our stockists who then, you know, when you sort of said like, so, you know, making stories and stuff, and she was like, I was wondering where I know your face from. Like,
yeah, I'm on the cover.
But I love that. Like, I love Lotta from Elk Market Yarn. Lotta, I have no idea if you're watching this. If you are, hi. I absolutely love what she's doing, and so I was really excited because you got to go there.
It's she has a beautiful yarn store, and it's just in the middle of the woods, nothing much around it, and it's just very cozy and comfortable, and you wouldn't expect something like that there. It's just really it's really nice, and we had a nice chat, and she's dyeing her own yarn now.
That's
which
exciting.
Is also amazing. She has amazing colors. It's really nice.
Oh, I remember she did like a sock launch. I don't know who designed it. If she also designed the sock pattern, I only saw that on Instagram.
I think she did. Yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
Gorgeous. I love it. Would you like to share how we got to work with you as a model? Because I think that story is fun.
Yeah, it's so I work for a company here in Berlin, and we produce female hygiene products, and we actually I think we talked about that. I work there, and then you said, oh, I like the model, and one of the models that we had, and I'm like, yeah, I can connect you and get you in touch, and I mean, she's beautiful as she's on the cover for the second magazine, Teresa, and and I think then I just said, I also modeled for them. So maybe you, if you ever need a model like me, then maybe that would be fun.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, maybe it's not gonna happen, or it's not gonna not gonna work, or maybe they're not interested. And then you just got back to me within like a day or two and was like, okay, yes, we're doing it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so exciting.
Like, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
Exactly. Yeah, so that was that was really fun.
Yeah, I was so happy when you suggested this. So, I mean, we were talking, sorry, I keep hearing weird things. Maybe that's my microphone. We were talking about Teresa, who you had done, I think, a photo shoot with. You two were models. And I was so excited when you said you would want to model as well, because I've been, I'm always thinking of ways that we can show we're on different body types. Yeah. And one of the things I think with all of I'm trying to get the timeline straight. This is why I'm struggling right now. Because I can't really remember when we actually talked about this, but it must have been, if we released this now, we shot before COVID. So we must at least have talked, I think maybe in spring last year, about the modeling. Because for everyone, as an explanation, so it must have been before we commissioned the samples from the designers, because for the sample knitting, we obviously pick a certain size, which depends on which model we're working with. So, like that conversation with Lena and me about her modeling for issue 4 must have taken place before the designers actually started working. So, so yeah, I was super happy because I wanted someone with a bit of a larger, bigger body size for a long, long time. And it's a bit of an interesting sort of conundrum that you're in, or that I feel I'm always in when I'm trying to pick models, because I don't want to tokenize them. I think that is one of one of the major things that I'm thinking about the inclusivity and inclusion and diversity work that we're doing, is being very careful that we're not tokenizing people, but that we're actually following through on as many levels that we can, and not just say, hey, look, we have a Black model, or we have a plus size model, we're inclusive now, because that's not inclusive, people. That's not like, it's not. And I always struggle when I reach out to new models, how to approach them, because I don't want them to feel used. So I'm always trying to explain, this is who we are, this is, and so with you, I knew that you knew who we are and what we were, and that your offer was because you wanted to support. And yeah, I loved it. I was so excited. I was like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think you said to me also back then, you said, I hope I remember this right, that you said, I want to see more people like me on photos. So, then, I maybe also need to step in front of the camera, which I thought was such a brave statement, like such a, like, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's still, I still do think like that, because of course it's, we have different bodies, and we're like, everyone is out there with their body, like we all have a body, and if I want to see a change, there's different aspects that I can do to actually make the change. And for some people, maybe it's not to step in front of the camera, right? But for me, it almost feels natural, because I just don't, I'm not afraid of the camera. I'm not, I think like the pictures are gorgeous. I don't feel weird in front of the camera. It's just, it's, as I said, it's natural. And if it's natural for me, then I can, then I can do it. And maybe I can inspire others to also do it, or to just feel more comfortable in their body. Or to be more comfortable to show themselves and not hide in clothes that are maybe not fitting for them, or that they actually want to wear other clothes, and don't dare to do it. So that's also what I wear, what I like to wear. I always I want to wear clothes that I like, and that my body is that look good on my body. And I don't want to restrict myself to not wear a dress, or like to tight dress or tight pants, because it shouldn't be like that. It's like, no, it should be like that, because that's what I want to wear.
Yeah.
So
so much yes to that.
Yeah. So you remember, right? I just, and I still feel like that. If I can inspire someone with that, then I'm happy, and then it's like a small step to a different view on things.
And I hope more knitting magazines are following suit, because I think it's really something. I know that a lot of people appreciate it after the launch of issue 4. We got a lot of emails saying like, hey, finally there's someone who looks like me on the cover of the magazine, and the emails that made me, or the messages that made me most happy, were people who said, look, like, now I'm gonna knit that sweater, I'm gonna buy that sweater quantity, and I'm gonna make myself that sweater that I want to, or make myself that cardigan that I want to, because I've seen how it can look on a body that looks more like mine. And that's exactly what this is about, right? Like, this is, especially with knitting, and especially, as you said before when we were talking about Zuora, if you wear a bigger size, you have to have more knitting. Well, you are putting more knitting time into the knitting, more likely your materials are more expensive because you need more yarn. So in a way, it's an even bigger commitment. So I think just with you showing your face and your body in the magazine, you inspired a lot of people to actually, make something for them that they will hopefully love. So that just makes me happy. It doesn't even have to be anything from any of our publications, just something that they feel good in. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How do you? Yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
I just wanted to say again that it's so important to make it visible so that you can see. And I mean, it's happening a little bit with, like, when you see the projects on Ravelry or other pages. But it could be more. And even in a publication like that, it becomes more and more obvious, and that's great.
I just love those pictures. I know, like, they are Claire's favorite picture bunch, and they're mine too, I think. It's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. I know, well, speaking of Claire, this is Claire's favorite picture of the entire collection. And it's just such a good picture. And I think this captures just beautifully, I think the atmosphere at the photo shoot, and also, just like how contagious your smile are. And every time, I don't know, every time that we see each other, this is how I feel, because you have such a positive vibe, and, you know, it's just like, yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, but I really wish
Yeah.
that more, you know, like more knitting magazines generally would also show people not only of different skin color, also obviously of different skin color, but also of different body sizes. And I know that some publications are struggling with this, because obviously it means higher sample knitting costs. Like, I mean, for us,
Mhm.
like, we're correlating the designer compensation also with the size of the sample, which makes sense because they're knitting more, right? But I would just hope that there would be more knitting publications doing this. I think in sort of other fashion, like ready to wear things, we do see more. I don't know if that's just me. How do you perceive it? Do we see more plus size models, or is that just still not really happening?
I think it's becoming more.
Mm,
Yeah. And it's of course it can still be more, and then there's all different, you know, you might see more online, but then if you actually look for stores, they take
mm,
out the plus size sizes in some stores, and so you have to order online, and yeah, it's just like sort of, it's yeah, then you're not seen in the store because you order online.
yeah.
And yeah, but I do think there's more options, and there's more like advertisement around
Mm,
it. I do think that, yeah.
yeah. Well, one thing that I like when shops do it is when they have just not when they don't have like a plus size category and then they show the same thing on different models. I remember I ordered, okay, this is gonna sound like a weird story, but I ordered bras yesterday. So maybe too much information, but I ordered new bras because I stopped breastfeeding. Now my boobs need new bras. Anyways, I ordered from I ordered from a German company, sustainable bras that I'd ordered way back when they first started. I think like 3 or 4 years ago, and they've since expanded their range quite a lot. And one of the things that I really loved about that shopping experience was that they showed that they just used, you know, different models but showed them on the same shopping page. So there was one model with a bigger body size, then there was a very, you know, androgynous, like, you know, model right next to it. We're all wearing, you know, different styles, and I really like that. That's sort of for me how, you know, inclusivity and diversity should be. It's not, you know, you have to go to a separate page or
Mhm.
anything, you know. As you said, we all exist in our bodies, and all of these bodies are beautiful, so they deserve the exact same attention and the exact same space.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mm.
And it's even like, as you said, it's like there's so many different types of bodies that are not pictured,
Mm.
and that doesn't even say it's only the plus size. It's like, uh, I mean, older bodies.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. They need to be shown too, because it's part of life. Uh, so it should be all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading when I started reading about intuitive eating, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. um, I read a book where they quoted a statistic that only, I think, between 2 to 5% of all people in the world actually have the body type that we now see as, you know, the usual body type
Mhm.
in magazines, in ads, Yeah, like, which is crazy if you think about it. It's a tiny portion that of course should be represented, but the other
Absolutely.
95 to 98% should also be represented, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it shows, like, if you only fed by that picture,
Mm.
it shows why everyone wants to be like that, and then it's not, it's just, and then you turn into some weird unhealthy relation to food, and it's
Yes. Yeah. And the energy that you spend trying to chase after a body image or a type or, you know, a picture that you can't achieve. Imagine what you could do with that energy and time.
exactly great things, like
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
also welcome to patriarchy, but that's a
yeah.
different story.
That's it absolutely is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I have one more question.
yeah,
It's the last question on my list. Is there any particular pattern, well, from issue 4 or any other publication that you are itching to cast on?
yeah. There's a couple that I'm itching. So from this one, I'm actually, I want to make this one.
Oh,
I think it might be yours. Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I really love it. I really want that. So I have my note here. I didn't have yarn in my stash that
Mm,
that fits, so I have to see if I can make it fit, or
yeah.
if I will buy some yarn. And
I think
then
I think you can. I think that is quite that yarn that I used for that design is quite an interesting one because it can be knit up at a DK gauge, but also worsted and Aran. So I think you can get away with, you know, if you have like a slightly different weight or holding 2 strands double or something, I think it could work.
yeah, exactly. I was thinking about holding double something.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then, I mean, coming back to what you were saying earlier, so I think that's the second one that I really want to knit, because
Ooh.
and I watched the talk, your interview with Ash, and
Mm.
it was just so lovely. I loved it. So the lace in a thicker yarn is
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah, that's Acorn
um,
from issue 4 as well. Oh,
yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, what you said about like actually taking the time and ordering all the yarn and all of that, this has really made
oh,
that for me. I mean,
mm,
because I think if I would have seen that in the publication on a different body, or even I think, yeah, on a different body, I wouldn't have thought that this might be something that I can knit, or
mm.
that it will look good on my body. But yeah,
And it looks stunning. It's
it
so good.
it does. Yeah, yeah. And actually, I love this picture also because uh, it's more sincere,
Mm-hmm.
and I really love that you chose it, because it's uh, yeah, I also think it's not every woman has to smile all the time.
Yeah,
I think it's good to be
yeah.
I mean, I like smiling, I do that a lot, but yeah,
It's interesting that you say that because that was one of my reasons why I wanted this for the cover. Um, because I mean, that immediately just, I don't know, you jumped out at me from this picture in a very good way. um and I don't know, there's just something about the way that you look at whoever is viewing this magazine, you know, that I think is very intense in a very good way. And this has sort of the same the same quality. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a challenge picking photos where you didn't smile. But there were a few very, very good ones. Would you knit this in the same colors if you knit it?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I yeah.
Very stunning.
Yeah, because also the colors are great. Yeah. So I have to see if I get my because yeah, if I get around to knit it. And then what was on my list before is actually yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah. Can't blame you.
Yeah. So that's my cue, my making stories cue.
Oh.
It's getting longer and longer.
Well, we might make it even longer with issue 5. I mean, there's still a few months, but issue 5 is also going to be really good. But Petiola is one of, I think, one of my favorite patterns that we've ever published, and it's such a, I'm knitting it at the moment. I kind of put it on hold for now because I have so many samples that I have to knit, but it's such an enjoyable knit. You know, when we were talking about Myrdal, about the scarf and the lace, that felt very similar because you're starting with the lace yoke, so you have, you know, all of the beautiful, very geometric lace, and then you get to the stockinette body. Yeah. Ooh. I'm excited to see which one you cast on, if you decide to cast any of these on.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was amazing. I loved it. I love like the combination of getting to talk about your projects and then, you know, about the modeling experience and also about sizing and all of those things. Thank you so much for joining me today, for test knitting for us, for being our beautiful model, for always supporting us and cheering us on. It just feels, I don't know, so joyful to know that you're there and support us.
Thank you. It's just a pleasure. It's really a pleasure to follow what you do and see you grow and also see you change and react to things that happen and sort of how you find your way and yeah, I really like it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
Alrighty, lovelies. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back here next week with a podcast episode. So it's going to be Claire and I talking about, I don't know what yet, hopefully some progress, maybe on Petiola. Some knitting is going to be there. So that video is going to be published in a week from now on Thursday, and I hope you tune in then. If you like this, hit the thumbs up, like button thingy below the video, subscribe, send it to your best friend if you think they would enjoy it. I would really appreciate that, and I will hopefully see you again here in a week from now. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.